Oh, top of mind for all of us right now is certainly interest rates, certainly the sudden rise in automobile pricing, the fact that if a customer is coming in with a 10-year-old, 7-year-old, 5-year-old, even a 4-year-old automobile, right? That is at old pricing, and there was a significant difference just 4 years ago. History has a tendency to repeat itself. And so we've been here before. We've been here at high interest rates. We've been here at a sudden rise in inflation of the price of automobiles. The sticker shock is a real thing, and it doesn't make your life any easier. Let's talk about how we can overcome some of those objections when a consumer comes in with the idea that for the same price and slightly less, I could get into a new vehicle. So if you haven't done the counsel and qualifying, if you don't know the vehicle they'd like to go to, if you didn't see the vehicle that they drove in, then you need to find out what color that vehicle is. And in fact, if they might be interested in selling it to us. And of course, for us to fill the used car inventory in the used car lot, this is a magnificent place for us to start. Even if that client does not want to buy our product, we certainly want an opportunity to buy their vehicle, most pointedly asking them, what is the monthly payment on that trade-in? And if it's a 10-year-old vehicle, don't be surprised that they don't have a monthly payment on it anymore. We must ask, what was the monthly payment? And the whole purpose of this is to find out what the sweet spot is. Where do they think their monthly payments are going to come in at? And until we get that sweet spot, it's going to be very difficult for us to sell the customer. It's a monthly payment, a bi-weekly that will fit into the new vehicle option. Then you can confidently walk out on the lot and show them that vehicle. This is how customers think. For the same price or slightly less, ideally less, I would consider buying a new vehicle. And this is what we've talked about before. And this is how you present your attractive character. This is the what's in it for me. Right? This is the customer. What's in it for me is I will commit to your monthly payment for the same price or slightly less. So our job as salespeople, because this is what it says on your card, sales consultant, is to consult them on the best way to buy an automobile, which is to put money down. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That's closing a negotiation. At this point in time, once we have a soft commitment on the bi-weekly that they're currently paying, will that be the same going forward on the new vehicle? You may have to suggest that they put some money down in order to get that same payment. If you find out that they would like to be at a lower monthly payment, then we need to suggest a lesser model vehicle or a pre-owned. There's no magic to it. Math is science. Okay, if they're coming out of a $40,000 and $50,000 automobile and looking at a $70,000 and $90,000 automobile that is 4 years newer with no mileage on it, or it's 4 years newer with a little bit of mileage on it, then it stands to reason the monthly payment is going to go up. You may have to draw an analogy for your client to something that they're familiar with. Remember, a good teacher links an unknown with a known. So what you can do to build your value bridge when the monthly payment is the greatest concern, and they won't even consider looking at a new vehicle, is that we are no different than the housing market. And some customers may have gone through this scenario. Maybe they've realized that when they sold their house and capitalized very, very well on it, moving over to a new home that they're going to, they probably spent all the money that they capitalized on moving over because of inflation. And the very same thing has happened to us in the automobile. Look at how many moving parts go into building the automobile. Not to mention, if any client is coming out of a 1-year-old vehicle going to the next new vehicle, you need to land on the right vehicle at the counsel and qualifying part. If you don't do the interview correctly from the very beginning, you're setting yourself up for disaster in the end. Does that make sense? Just putting into reality, consumers come in thinking, for the same price or slightly less, I'll take one. As though they're doing us a great big favor and helping us out of our problem of having inventory on the ground. I don't really think inventory on the ground is a problem. If you went through the inventory shortage, I think you'd agree with me. Having inventory on the ground is not a problem. Remember those days when you had to tell a customer, you may wait a year, 2 years. You may wait more than 2 years. I don't know if any of you said 3 or 4 years, but I think I just chose you may have to wait more than 2 years. And a lot of them did it, which is proof in the pudding that if we don't have the perfect vehicle for them, we can show a representative model. Here's the thing. At the interview, if you haven't determined the behavior that you have to mirror and match their behavior, then you're not capitalizing on your likable character. However, you haven't moved the client from a logical state of mind, how much is it, how much is it, how much is it, to an emotional state of mind. Just gotta have it. Remember, they've transcended that process, right? They've thought about it, talked about it, researched the marketplace. This is where Google tells us they do it for 6 months. They've seen it in a non-confrontational setting. The auto show is a non-confrontational setting. This is where I just want to go and see it without the obligation to say, no, I don't want to buy it. I just want to see it. And so many of your customers right now are doing this. And the phone will start ringing. The email bell will start chiming. And as we move forward to the nicer weather. So there are 3 ways the customers make this decision. Number 1 is the desire. I believe the manufacturer has done all the work in that capacity. And of course, your dealer, your brand, in other words, has done that heavy lifting for you. They've created the desire. This is how you can leverage scarcity and urgency, and especially address that age-old question right now, that concern of interest rates. Customers don't see any urgency to act right now. How you can turn that around is identifying the fear of losing out on the automobile that they would like to have. Now, the most effective way for you to convince this client to move over with you is to leverage the pain. What is the pain point that they're experiencing? Why do they want to make this decision right now? Is their vehicle making a noise? Just need to make sure that we're addressing those buyer motivations.